better than girl talk? Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk? A chat with the ladies about their day, the ups and downs along the way. She's a cook, she's a chauffeur, she's a worker bee. First in the door and last to leave. Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk? Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk?
Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm Regina Ayers, and Carol Boyson and I have co-hosted Girl Talk for over 4 years here at Rogue Valley TV. And beginning this year, 2020, I am going to be solo hosting because Carol is now dedicating her time to the digital independent news site, the Ashland Chronicle. The Chronicle is more than news. It is a community in conversation about what matters in our lives here in the Rogue Valley. And we wish her well. For those of you who are not new to Girl Talk or who are new to Girl Talk, Girl Talk showcases women in the Rogue Valley who are making a difference in their communities. It is a lively discussion of the opportunities, challenges, and successes of women in their daily lives. Today we're talking about supporting our youth here in the Rogue Valley. And my two guests are, first of all, Sarah Kreisman, and she is the Executive Director of Rogue Valley Mentoring, and Lynn Cherkoff, Mentor Specialist, Support Specialist. Now the Rogue Valley Mentoring was formerly called the Rose Circle. And fortunately, I have some history with the Rose Circle, but I haven't been involved lately with the Rogue Valley Mentoring. And so I'm sure there are some changes that have happened there. So Sarah, why don't you bring us up to date on how we moved from Rose Circle to Rogue Valley Mentoring?
Thank you, Regina, so much for inviting us to be here today. This is such an honor. Feeling really grateful. So yes, a bit of the history of our beloved organization. Rose Circle Mentoring Network, as you know, started as somewhat of a kitchen table organization, a group of concerned women in our community who wanted to provide a safe space for adolescent girls to share, see each other, feel seen. And it evolved. It has been a labor of love for many years. And a few years back, the board of directors decided it was time to take the branding of the organization to another level, if you will. And so the idea of becoming Rogue Valley Mentoring was based upon the fact that the name would be more all-encompassing, more gender neutral, gender inclusive.
Because you have circles for boys too, yes.
Absolutely. In fact, we actually have at ATI in Phoenix, we have a gender inclusive circle where it's all genders.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Because we are no longer a gender binary focused organization. Right. We're welcoming all gender identities. And so that's a very exciting movement as well. So back to the Rogue Valley Mentoring piece, the vision continues to unfold. So along with the name, expanding into different arenas such as the Latinx community, a deeper relationship there.
That's new.
Expanding into more schools. We have 8 circles now, which is very exciting. Some of the largest, we're basically serving as many kids as we have in the past. And we just continue to move forward in different conversations around potential involvement with workforce preparation, with our Mentor Partners program. And
yeah, I want to talk about that later.
Yeah, so it's the rebranding is giving us the potential for a much greater capacity, and we're just going to continue to grow and move forward and meet the needs.
How long has it been since you've been carrying that new name?
It was before my time, and I want to say about 3 years ago.
Oh, it's been that long. Yeah.
Well, it took us a good long while to say, we formerly known as Rose Circle Mentoring Network. So I've been having that conversation a lot.
Happens.
It sinks in gradually.
Yeah,
the culture change.
Well, changing logos and changing names is a real challenge.
It's true.
Yeah, it takes a while.
And we're really glad for it.
Well,
It's
good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Lynn, why don't you tell us what you do down at Rogue Valley Mentoring?
Well, as part of the expansion, we also began to recognize the need to support our mentors, that we wanted to train them and sustain their involvement as the circles expanded. So that's been my role, and I've had the privilege of training and supporting the somewhat near 40 mentors that we now have who are either with one-on-one matches or in circles, many of them in circles. They meet monthly, share their experiences, problem solve, and it has been an exceptional opportunity for me, and I think for the organization, as we build a strong team of mentors.
Yeah, when I was involved, there certainly weren't 40 mentors. I did a circle at ATI for young girls. We were it was Rosebud or something like that. I think they had a special name for it because it was younger girls. So I know that school, which is a very non-traditional high school or educational facility. And then I did a circle at Central High School in Medford. And that was a smaller group, and we were co-hosts in both of those circles. So are you still co-hosts? Do you have two mentors that facilitate a circle, or is that the setup?
We actually have a team with each circle.
Oh, that's
so many of the circles have 3 and sometimes 4, because we move mentors who've just been trained into a circle with experienced mentors, and also do it in such a way as we know people who volunteer travel, have other opportunities, so that we always at least have 2 attending, but it is really a team of people who are supporting each other and facilitating in the circles.
So I'm familiar with circles, but I never was a one-on-one mentor. So how are those different?
Well, they have, as they say, it's one-on-one. So a young person who has approached the organization through a parent or themselves, asking for someone who's designated to be their person, and we make the match.
Who makes the match in the organization?
Actually, I do,
Okay,
as
you make
the
the
mentor
match.
support person.
Okay.
So we're matching a mentor with a young person who's in where they would have shared interests. They really contract with each other and with the parent, so they commit to spending time together, usually 4 hours, an hour once a week, or maybe a longer period once a month, to explore activities in the community, hike, spend time with shared interests. It could be bowling, it could be time at the library, it could be hiking.
Yeah.
So it is a special person, and we often find within the circles that there will be a young person who really, because of life circumstances, would really need a person who could focus wholly on them and spend that time really focused on their needs.
Right. Yeah.
So it's listening. It's having a person who will listen and share, walk along with you in a one-on-one relationship, which can be so special for a young person.
So Sarah, so the mission, what is the mission of Rogue Valley Mentoring? I mean, what is your goal? I know it's to work with the youth in the community, and tell us a little bit about that.
So our mission statement is to transform communities through the mentoring of youth. And
okay.
it is
okay, communities. You're bringing the benefit to the community as well as to the youth.
Yes. Some of the things that we really pull out there are the importance and the value that this experience offers to the adults who come forward. Incredibly enriching experience for our mentors. We hear often that the mentors wish they'd had this kind of training when they were parents. Just what it does for them on a personal level is profound. The learning that happens, the growth that happens, the connection that they're building with this young person, the satisfaction that brings, the challenges that brings. It's, as Lynn would tell you, it's inevitable that the mentors do their own personal work in these dynamics, in our model as it stands. And also just the culture shift that we're calling in around the intergenerational connections, that we're hearing a lot of disconnect between adults in the community and the adolescent community. So it's also a movement of creating more bonds, creating more connections, and while offering what is literally a mental health service to the young people in our community, many of whom really are relying on the mentors as an adult support in their life. Many of the youth that we work with don't have someone in the home who's able to
adult
who they feel that they can rely on and feel seen by. Right. So it's the impacts of the work that we're doing echoes throughout the community, which is why we call it Transforming Communities.
Yeah, I like that new mission statement. That's great. Yeah. So Lynn was talking about actually having people self-identify wanting a mentor, but I know you must get referrals from other nonprofits or agencies.
Absolutely.
Who would be some of those people that might refer a young person to you?
So I'll speak to what the knowledge that I've had has been DHS employees. It's been school staff that, like just the other day, a young girl was in the counselor's office needing support, and they basically had their interpreter call on behalf of the Spanish-speaking mother, our organization. This girl's having, she's really needing support. Can you help? And so that's in conjunction with a school counselor and a parent, and there's a whole network that's stepping forward here and helping us to make these connections and acknowledging the value of the work. Yeah. It's huge. Yeah. It's a movement. Yeah. I don't know if you would add to that, Lynn.
Well, let me show this video. On your website, you have some videos, some very good videos, and one is of a young woman called Danny. And can we play that video, Danny's story? It's a short video that actually this young woman can tell her story.
I remember when I was a youth, the message that I was constantly getting from my parents and my teachers was that I needed to succeed and be performing well. And it was so much more about what I was achieving and how I could make my way in the world than who I actually was or what I was feeling, or the things that really mattered to me didn't feel like they mattered to the adults in my life for the most part. And having mentors was the way that I felt the adults in my life actually caring about me and the things that I cared about. And it was empowering on so many levels, and it wasn't until I got older and started into the mentoring world, like actually mentoring youth myself, that I realized like these were just people that decided that they wanted to, that they might be able to make a difference in a young person's life. Like the people that made so much of a difference in my life were just like me or anyone that had the courage to like step into a youth's life. And the beautiful thing about it is that it's a two-way relationship. Like it's not just about helping youth. It's like that relationship is nourishing for both people. It's a really beautiful thing.
So that was lovely video. So how long has Danny been associated then with Rogue Valley Mentoring? Is she a recent mentee or?
So she actually has been a mentee she was a mentee for many years. She was part of the first Youth Vision Council that was
Oh, I remember that.
okay,
Yes.
so
Okay.
she's been a kind of a long-standing involved young person who is now, an instrumental part of the movement that we're creating. It's been
She
a
is
gift.
now facilitating a circle with me in the middle school in talent.
Oh, great.
So she was mentored and has gone on to really be an integral part of our service in the community.
Great.
Yes.
I saw on your website you had a Mentor Partners program. This is new. I think we talked about that a little bit when I was on the board, and so I was involved in some of that decision making that was happening back then. So what is the Mentor Partners program?
The Mentor Partners program is a kind of an initiation for us into building instrumental mentoring opportunities for the youth that we work with. The nature of our program has been largely relationally based around compassionate listening, strength-based model mentoring, being a caring ear. And what we're wanting to do is expand our offerings more into the realm of inspiring youth around and exposing them to what's out in the world. The opportunities that are there for them, whether it's art or a profession or, whether it's a hobby, just giving kids who may not have that exposure opportunities the chance to walk into a business and have a tour, or to invite a business owner or an artist to a circle to do an activity with the youth. So again, inspiration, empowerment for youth while bringing in the larger community as mentors, as engaged folks in the nurturing of our youth in our valley. And also while hopefully cultivating more business sponsor opportunities for the organization. We've had a great relationship with 10 Realty. They've been very generous in their contributions to us, and we're excited to be more connected with our local business community and artisan community.
Who are some of your business partners?
10 Realty has stepped forward. Are you asking about the mentor partners? The mentoring,
Right.
Fuego Smoothies is one of our mentor partners.
So
Vesper
people go to-
Meadows.
Okay.
Yeah, Vesper Meadows is a nature.
Nature.
Yeah, it's a piece of property up Dead Indian Memorial that Janine Moy is running. It's an incredible opportunity for art and exploration in nature, kind of an up-and-coming organization, amazing work that she's doing. And Wilderness and Waves is another local wilderness organization, as well as our bookbinder. The name of her business escapes me. She used to be involved with 10 Realty. She actually rehabs books. So it's a really sweet traditional practice that's, she's inviting youth to come in and do that with her. It's just to kind of get, who knows what could come of those connections.
Right. So if a business wants to be a partner, who do they talk to down at Road Valley Mentoring?
They can call me directly
Okay.
or email me, Sarah at RV Mentoring. That's Sarah with an H.
Uh-huh.
And then we also have our new community engagement coordinator, Laura Pinney, who will be working with our
More
mentor.
staff?
Yes.
I cannot believe it.
Well, we actually just recently hired a communications coordinator as well. So we are getting our big girl, big boy pants on.
You are. We struggled with that.
It's amazing.
Well, I was there before they had an executive director. So, yeah, and Ellen was pretty much running the show down there.
She was really good at that.
Yes, she is. She is.
My mentor.
Yes,
Or
absolutely.
one of my mentors.
Well, I had this thought. We do a certification class down here, and in order for me to have this show, I had to go through a certification class to learn how to put a show together. And so anybody in the community can do that. And I thought, well, maybe some of these kids might be interested in studio production.
Oh my gosh.
And that I would mention that to you as a possibility, and you can certainly talk to me about it, if you talk about it back home there and see if it's something. But it would require some time on the part of the kids. They'd have to have one of the mentors with them. And then they could come down here on a Saturday as a group and put together a show. It could be whatever they want it to be. So I'll just put that out there as a little tidbit for you guys. And we have lots of experienced crew people here that would be willing to help them until they kind of got off the ground. But it's fun. It's fun, especially for some kids. I think it would be a lot of fun. And then they have something tangible as a result of that. So anyway, just think about that.
Thank you for that. That's a great idea.
Now, I know that you've got a training coming up. Why don't you tell us about that?
Okay. We have a training on March 6th, Friday evening, and then all day Saturday on the 7th. Training means any individual, caring, consistent adult who is interested in giving back to the youth in the community. It doesn't require anything more than an interest in youth, an interest in listening to youth. What we've learned is that youth are the experts in their own lives. And if we listen to them, they can find in themselves ways to move forward. So it isn't that we solve their problems, it's that we hear them and support their strengths. So we are very much needing men and women of all ages who would be willing to volunteer a bit of their time, coming to the training and then moving into either a circle or a one-on-one match. And we can kind of guarantee that they will enjoy a very creative training and they will meet other like-minded people. So it is also a way, if you're new in the community or wanting to find some way to give back, that you can find a place to do that and have a growth experience. I think the training gives that.
So what are some of the things they might learn at this training?
I think probably the biggest thing is how to listen actively. And that means for all of us that you kind of have to move your parent part, your instructor part over so that you can hear what young people have to say and support, as I said, their strengths because they're there. And these are young people who may never have had someone really look at them and listen to them. So the growth for them comes just from having this adult who is there simply to listen, not to solve problems, because the problems are often quite enormous, but to support their capacity to see answers for themselves and help build relationships with their peers, which is what happens in a circle. And it's a wonderful thing to watch because young people feel isolated. And if they can connect with one another, they find support with the other members of the circle and from the facilitator or their one-on-one match.
So if somebody's interested, should they go on site? Is there a way, on your website? Or should they call a number? Or what's the best way to attend that training?
They could do either one, but they certainly can go onto the website and fill out a mentor application.
Okay.
And then we'll be back in touch with them immediately to help them go through the process, which of course includes background check and fingerprinting, all of those steps. But the first one is the mentor app and then coming to the training.
So,
I'd also like to chime in that we're now offering a mentor stipend. So we're trying to prevent, we're really working to try to remove any potential financial barriers that might, prevent people from stepping forward.
For the training or for actually the time they spend with the mentee?
For volunteers who sign up and mentor.
Okay. So they go to the training and then, they don't necessarily have to take on a circle. They may come to that training and decide, this is not for me.
And that's something else to mention is that actually we do, the training is free. All of our
That's
services
new.
are free for our
That's new.
volunteers and for
Yeah.
the youth.
Great.
And if somebody wants to come from another business, that they, we welcome that, and we do charge a fee if there's no intention to volunteer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you must have improved your fundraising because, so how do you get your funding?
Well, I'll boast that we recently got a generous grant from the state underneath the Department of Education, Oregon Youth
Nice.
Development Council.
Did you write that grant?
I did. I had support,
Congratulations. Yeah.
and it was definitely it's a game changer for us.
Yeah,
It's a lot. It's enabling us to do the
Yes.
stipend,
Right.
and really do some program expansion. We get incredible support also from Oregon Community Foundation, as well as some very generous individual donors in our community.
Great.
And we're definitely along those lines looking to build our community and always welcome new support in every way that it arrives to us. So
Great.
putting that call out.
Yeah. Well, we've come to the end of our time, so I just want to thank you two ladies,
Yes.
Lynn and Sarah, for coming down, and I really want you to think about the studio class.
You got it.
What do I want to say now? Let me see. Oh, I want to thank the crew. So I want to thank Gary, and I want to thank JC and David on the teleprompter, and John on graphics. And especially I want to thank Wanda Borland, who is my dedicated director. She's been here since the get-go. I really appreciate everything you do, Wanda. So Girl Talk can be seen on Rogue Valley TV, Channel 15 with Ashland Home Net, or Channel 182 with Spectrum at 3 p.m. on Saturdays or 6:30 on Thursdays, or always on demand online at roguevalleytv.sou.edu. And I want to do a little self-promotion here. I have a YouTube channel, YouTube Regina Ayers, and Girl Talk can be found on that channel. All of the Girl Talk shows for the last 4 years. I think we're up to episode 60. And also some episodes from a show I have done that's called Getaway Girl, which is a travel show. And a song list that includes songs that I have written and recorded, like the theme song that you heard at the beginning of the show and that you will hear at the close of the show. So I hope you learned something new today and will join us again soon. So bye for now.
Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk? Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk? Chat with the ladies about their day, the ups and downs along the way. She's a cook, she's a chauffeur, she's a worker bee. First in the door and last to leave. Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk? Girl talk, girl talk. What's better than girl talk?